Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. Today we're diving into an emotional twist. After Alex finally regains his memory and returns home, he plans a surprise trip to Dalat. But will this fresh start truly heal everything? Or will the past come back to test their family one more time? Stay with me till the end, and if you enjoy it, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. Morning, sunlight slipped through the familiar window, like it had been waiting for them to come back. The house looked the same, but everything inside felt different, lighter, warmer, alive again. Tuna opened the front door before Alex could even reach it. She moved quickly, one hand steady on his arm, the other on his back, guiding him inside as if she was afraid the moment might disappear if she blinked. "Easy," she whispered. "Slowly." Alex nodded. He was still recovering, still a little weak, but his eyes were clear now. He took in the living room, the hallway, the old family photos on the wall, like he was meeting his own life again, but this time with permission to stay. Behind them, Alex's mother stepped in, carrying Henry. The little boy was giggling non-stop, bouncing in her arms, reaching forward with both hands, like he'd been waiting for this exact second. "Dad, Dad!" Henry babbled, not perfect words, but the meaning was loud. Alex's face broke into a smile so full it made Tuna's throat tighten. He held out his arms automatically. "Come here," he murmured, voice soft. Alex's mother carefully set Henry down, and the boy waddled toward Alex with that adorable, unstable toddler walk. 2 steps, almost falling, then catching himself. Alex bent down and scooped him up, pressing Henry against his chest like he was confirming something real. Henry clapped his hands and laughed right into Alex's shoulder. The kitchen smelled warm already. Alex's mother had planned it before they even arrived. Rice steaming, soup simmering, and the smell of braised pork drifting through the house like a memory that finally stopped running away. "I made what you used to love," she said, trying to sound casual, but her voice shook. "Eat a little. You need strength." Alex sat at the dining table with Henry on his lap. His mother moved around the kitchen like she was on autopilot, but every few seconds she glanced over, just to make sure her son was still there. Tuna sat beside Alex. She didn't say much. She just kept holding his hand under the table, tight, steady, like she was anchoring herself. Alex looked around the table slowly. His mother, Tuna, Henry, the kitchen, the warmth, the normal sounds, spoons, bowls, little feet tapping the chair. His eyes turned glossy. He started, then stopped. His voice cracked. He didn't need to finish the sentence because all 3 of them knew what he meant. Tuna's tears fell quietly. She didn't wipe them right away. She just let them fall like her body had been holding too much for too long. Alex swallowed hard and hugged Henry tighter. Henry responded by patting Alex's cheek like he was proud. Alex laughed, an actual laugh, loud enough to fill the kitchen. It sounded like life returning to the house. Alex's mother turned away for a second, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand, trying to hide it. But the smile on her face gave her away. For the first time in days, the house wasn't heavy with fear. It was loud with small happiness. And for Alex, that shift was everything. The first few days at home passed like a soft dream, the kind you don't want to wake up from. In the mornings, Alex would wake to the sound of his mother in the kitchen, the clink of chopsticks, the lid lifting off a pot. the smell of hot rice and braised pork floating down the hallway. Sometimes he'd just lie there for a minute, listening, letting the simple sounds settle his heart. Then he'd get up and step into the yard, carrying Henry under one arm. Henry would squeal the moment the fresh air hit his face, reaching for leaves, pointing at birds, laughing at nothing. Alex lifted him high above his head, making Henry shriek with joy. Tuna would come out with a glass of water and stand by the door, watching them. Her smile looked soft, but her eyes always held something deeper, like she was grateful and terrified at the same time, because she remembered how quickly peace could disappear. One afternoon, when Henry finally fell asleep in his small stroller, Alex walked up behind Tuna and wrapped his arms around her waist. He didn't pull her into a dramatic hug. He just held her like it was natural now, like he was making a quiet promise with his body. "Thank you," he whispered into her hair. Tuna stiffened for half a second, then relaxed, leaning back against him. "For what?" she asked, voice tiny. "For not giving up," Alex said, "for staying, for bringing me back." Tuna's eyes filled again. She turned slightly and touched his hand. "I was scared," she admitted. "Every day." Alex kissed the side of her head gently. "Me too," he said, honest. "Even when I didn't remember, I felt something missing." At the doorway, Alex's mother watched them with a look that was half joy, half relief, and half that special mother worry that never fully leaves. Her eyes reddened again, but this time she smiled as she wiped them. These small moments, coffee scent, a child's laughter, a hand on a shoulder, felt more valuable than anything Alex had chased before. And without anyone announcing it, the family started building something new on top of what they'd almost lost. One evening, after dinner, they sat around the table longer than usual. Henry sat in his chair, banging a spoon on the table like he was joining the conversation. Alex leaned back, looking thoughtful. "We should go somewhere," he said. "Not far. Just a change of air." Tuna's eyes lit up immediately. "Where?" Alex smiled. "Dalat." His mother laughed softly. "Dalat? You want to take your mum on a trip?" Alex pointed at her with a grin. "No, I want to take my family." Tuna's chest warmed at the word. Alex's mother nodded, pretending she didn't get emotional. "Fine, but you don't overwork yourself, and Henry needs warm clothes. Dalat is cold." Tuna was already thinking ahead. "I'll pack his socks and thick jacket." Henry clapped his hands like he understood the excitement. "Go, go!" he shouted, even though he didn't know what go meant. He just liked the energy. They started planning right there at the table. Snacks for Henry, medicine for Alex, extra blankets, comfortable shoes, a small camera for photos. The room filled with laughter again. Light, easy laughter, the kind that comes when you finally believe tomorrow won't be worse than today. And for Alex, that anticipation wasn't just about travel. It was about proving to himself that life could be normal again, that they were allowed to be happy, that the storm was truly behind them. They left before sunrise. The sky was still pale and sleepy when Alex started the car. The engine hummed softly, and for a moment, no one spoke, like they were all afraid to jinx the calm. Tuna climbed into the front seat with a small bag on her lap. Alex's mother settled in the back with Henry, bundling him up in a thick jacket and a warm hat. Henry blinked at the window, half asleep, then giggled when he saw his own breath fog the glass. Alex glanced at Tuna. "Ready?" Tuna nodded, smiling. "I feel like we're escaping." Alex chuckled. "Not escaping, just breathing." As the car rolled onto the winding mountain roads, the air changed. The city noise disappeared. The scenery opened up into green hills and tall trees. A cool breeze slipped through the cracked window, carrying that clean smell of forest and damp soil. Tuna started telling Alex little stories, simple ones, not the painful parts, the funny parts. "Do you remember how you used to pretend you weren't tired?" she teased. "You'd come home and say, 'I'm fine,' then fall asleep sitting up." Alex laughed, eyes on the road. "I did that?" "You did," Tuna said with a grin. "And you snored." Alex's mother leaned forward from the back seat. "Oh, he snored since he was a child," she added. "Even when he pretended he didn't." Tuna burst out laughing. Alex shook his head like he'd been exposed. Henry clapped, excited by the laughter, even though he didn't understand the joke. Then he started babbling his own story, and everyone laughed even more. At some point, Alex turned the radio on. A familiar old song played, one of those melodies everyone in the country seems to know. Tuna sang softly. Alex's mother joined in. Even Henry tried, making random sounds on the beat, proud of himself. For the first time in a long time, Alex felt like he wasn't just surviving his life. He was actually inside it. When they reached Dalat, the air hit them like a surprise, cool, fresh, and slightly sweet, like flowers and pine trees mixed together. The homestay was small but charming, with potted plants on the porch and fresh flowers near the doorway. The owner welcomed them warmly. "You're here early. The weather is perfect today." Tuna stepped outside and inhaled deeply. "I forgot air could feel like this," she said, smiling. Alex's mother adjusted Henry's hat. "Don't let him catch cold," she warned automatically. Alex took Henry from her arms. "I've got him." Henry giggled, delighted to be carried like a king. They spent the morning walking slowly, not rushing anything. At Xuanhuang Lake, the water looked calm and glassy. Tuna held her phone up to take pictures, trying to capture everything like she was afraid it would disappear later. Alex carried Henry along the lakeside path, pointing out small things. "Look," he said, showing Henry a swan-shaped pedal boat. Henry stared, then shouted, "Wow!" like he'd just discovered the greatest thing on earth. Tuna filmed it quickly, laughing. "He's going to grow up dramatic," she teased. Alex looked at her, eyes warm. "He got that from you." Tuna froze for a second, then smiled, pretending it didn't hit her hard. But it did, because those kinds of lines used to feel impossible. By afternoon, they went to places everyone in Dalat knows: the Valley of Love, pine hills, small gardens with flowers blooming in bright patches. The whole city felt softer than the world they'd just come from. At one point, Alex jogged a few steps with Henry in his arms, making the child squeal. Henry's laughter echoed through the trees, and for a second Tuna just stopped walking and watched, overwhelmed. She remembered the hospital, the fear, the silence, the way Alex's eyes had looked empty. And now here he was, laughing with their son like nothing had ever tried to steal him away. Alex's mother walked beside Tuna, eyes glistening again. "You know," she said quietly, "I didn't realize how much I needed this too." Tuna nodded, throat tight. "Me neither." They picked strawberries in a garden later, the air smelling like ripe fruit and wet leaves. Tuna chose the biggest ones and held them up proudly. Alex tasted one and raised his eyebrows. "Sweet," Tuna smiled, "just like Henry." Alex's mother laughed. "Henry is sweet, but he's also stubborn." Henry, hearing his name, shoved a strawberry into his own mouth and got juice all over his cheeks. He looked so proud it made everyone laugh again. That night, they ate Dalat specialties, warm soup, grilled foods, simple dishes that tasted better because they were together. Henry got tired fast, falling asleep against Alex's chest while Alex gently patted his back. Tuna watched them like she was memorizing the picture. After dinner, they went back to the homestay. The air outside was crisp, and someone had set up a small campfire area. The flames were small but steady, and the warmth felt perfect against the cool night. Alex sat down first, still holding Henry. Tuna sat beside him. Alex's mother sat across, hands wrapped around a warm cup, looking peaceful. For a while, they just listened to the night. Soft wind in the trees, distant city sounds, the crackle of fire. Then Alex spoke quietly, voice low like he didn't want to disturb the moment. "I thought I lost everything," he admitted. "When I couldn't remember, it was like I didn't have a place to stand." Tuna leaned closer, resting her shoulder lightly against him. Alex's mother nodded slowly. "Watching you like that, it felt like my heart was being squeezed every minute." Alex looked down at Henry sleeping. "But I got a second chance," he said. "Not everyone gets that." Tuna's eyes filled again, but this time it wasn't panic. It was gratitude so big it almost hurt. Alex turned to her. "And I want to build something real," he said. "Not just work, not just surviving. I want a future we actually live." Tuna swallowed. "Like what?" Alex smiled softly. "Like more mornings like this, more trips, more dinners, and no more hiding." His mother chuckled through tears. "Good, 'cause I'm too old for more dramatic disasters." Tuna laughed, wiping her cheeks. "Same." The fire crackled. Above them, the sky was filled with stars, tiny lights scattered across the dark, like the world was quietly cheering them on. Alex shifted slightly, careful not to wake Henry, and wrapped his free arm around Tuna's shoulders. It wasn't dramatic. It was gentle, certain. Tuna leaned into him fully this time. And in that simple, quiet pose, under a starry Dalat sky, with a sleeping child between them and a mother watching with relief, the story finally felt complete. Not because everything was perfect, but because they were together. And this time, they weren't just hoping for peace. They were choosing it. After weeks of fear and uncertainty, Alex finally returns home from the hospital with his memory restored, and the house fills with warmth again. Tuna supports him inside while Alex's mother carries Henry, who runs straight to his dad, laughing and reaching for his arms. Over shared meals and quiet mornings, the family relearns simple happiness. Home-cooked favorites, the scent of rice and braised pork, and Henry's giggles echoing in the yard. Wanting to celebrate their second chance, Alex suggests a trip to Dalat to rest and make new memories. They pack together, excited like it's the first time. On the road, they sing old songs and watch the mountains pass. In Dalat, they stroll by Xuanhuang Lake, visit pine hills, pick strawberries, and share warm local food. By a night campfire under the stars, Alex promises a real future. No more hiding, only family.